Taki taki. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Mi open lon nimi. Sawi. Can you guys hear me? Yanale likan ala ken kutemi? Yes? Okay. So nothing was planned. It's just me. My name is Sonja. You all know me. I do lots of Tokipona stuff in the past, in the present, in the future. Yeah, there's no plan. It's just like send me some questions in chat and let's talk about anything you want to talk about. I've got a bunch of tabs open. Can you see the monitor? Can you see like I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 tabs open. We could talk about the tabs. We could talk about anything you want to know. Like I'm busy in so many different fronts for Tokipona and also for other projects. So sometimes I don't get the quality time that I want to spend with everybody and all the different servers and all the different channels and all the different platforms. Um, so yeah, like just throw stuff at me and let's talk. I mean, tokipona.org, and maybe I can just a lot has been going on this website. The top part of the website, you can see here, we've basically dedicated this space for our indigenous allies. So we've published the Mi'kmaq sovereignty dossier because I was born in Mi'kmaqi, which is like the indigenous territory in what is now Eastern Canada. And Scott here, he sent me a manuscript, and we've got it. It's like three hardcover tomes, and there's no markup, so it's just the price is exactly there's no profit from this. It's just to spread the message. And Scott has a really big presence on TikTok. You can check him out. Also, sunosama.org. This is the second book in the Sioux series. It was released like 2-3 weeks ago, and it's the fastest book I've ever produced. We made it in 5 weeks, and there's like a lot of contributors. So I was kind of like, it was like it just happened spontaneously. Like I was supposed to publish this one, the unicorn one. You can probably see this one. This unicorn anthology was supposed to be Sioux number 2. But this other Sioux got released so fast that it skipped the queue. And you can check out Sunosama. I think I have it open here. Yeah, sunosama.org. It's basically like I don't know how to call it. Like it's like a time capsule or a manifesto or like a choral work where like some prominent voices in Tokipona, in Esperanto, in Buosa, in many languages, we're basically like convening and we're sharing kind of like our knowledge of like how our movements are growing and how we're collaborating in good ways and what our vision for the future is together, like as allies and neighbors and so on. So yeah, this is Sioux number 2, Libu Sioux number 2, and it's free. You can go to the bottom here as a PDF, and I kept the exact file name that the printers use, so you can see it's like 0702s underscore eproof underscore gut underscore interior, like it's authentic. It's the real thing. So yeah, it's free, and there were 19 copies printed in what 6 different editions. So there's like the blue covers and there's the red covers and so on that were all gifted to different people. So some of you right now receive some of these gifts, like like I'm sure you know a lot of these names, like Kalaasi, Yankekan-san, who else? I mean, these are all, a lot of these names are big, like very important contributors in the Tokipona communities. And a lot of our allies, like Language Simp, has done a lot of content about Tokipona. Yan Wiwian, I think you all know her. And Hassan Piker, Schlag, he's a painter in Montreal. I met him, he's a Amazigh. They're like the people who are indigenous to North Africa. He's an artist who loves collaborating with us. Zamenhof gets his copy too. Zhenya Ali, I think you all know Yan Ali. Yan Ali published the Persian edition of Pupasi. Jean Kodio is a longtime friend of mine. Ilya Dewi. We've got some Sitelen Sui, some new art in there. Isabel, yeah, she's going to perform. I think she's up today, right? Like she's a, I mean, she's a brilliant musician, and she's like doing amazing things in the Lojban community, where they're facing some of the same questions that every language community faces, where there's always like a group of people who want to like, I don't know, like control things, and there's always a group of people who want to like be free and grow, and there's always this like language policy question that like she says here, fin fine ni ce la raumisma flanco de urbano exis en niai coroi. So she's talking about raumismo, which is like a word in Esperanto for basically the speakers of the language who want to exist as a diaspora and a self-chosen community, and don't want to like take over the world, like, and they don't want to like, Glory, she's a poet who writes in Swahili, a friend of mine in Tanzania, and she wrote some poetry in Swahili. So, like it's important for conlangs that we support our friends and allies who use their own languages too, right? Because we're not about replacing languages, we're about supporting all the languages, is what I believe anyway. Um, Rafa, he's like a really good Esperanto poet. We've got some beautiful Sitelen Sui here from Jan Yosan, the creator of Sitelen Sui. Like a nice piece. I mean, there's so much content here. Jan Olipia, you all know Lucapona, the Tokipona sign language. She contributed as well. I mean, like check it out. There's just too much stuff I can't summarize. But we produced that book in 5 weeks. Maybe, yeah, I mean, maybe I can just catch up on chat. Like, let's see what else. What did I miss here? Sacrifice my sleep schedule, Mamapi language. No way is the creator of language. It's 2:30 a.m. in Japan. Wow. Manion. La tempo pime alilon. Manion. There's I think I put a Nimi scene in Linku in the sandbox, so it's not very serious, but there's a new Nimi scene, what is it called? We made a word from Ainu, which is the indigenous language in the north of Japan, it's a new Nimi scene for sulfur. You can check that out. Sunabatu, origin of Tempo ni Samono, 5 weeks. Yeah, I mean, this like, sometimes it takes me a year to produce a book, and sometimes like a book just comes out of me with, like, despite my best, like when you do art, sometimes it's like it just comes out of you and you had no choice, and you have to put everything else on pause because the book is coming out, or a painting or a song or whatever your art is. Like sometimes it just comes out of you, and then but a big part of producing art is also showing up. Like you just, every day you have your discipline, you go to your studio, your office, your park, your garden, like your temple, whatever it is that your space where you become creative and you connect with yourself. And yeah, I mean, it's sometimes it's about discipline, and sometimes it's about inspiration, and yeah. Ramenhoff also received a copy, yes. Language Sim mentioned. Yeah, I love Language Sim's work. I mean, he's obviously like a satirist, and he's doing things to trigger people. I mean, that's his style, right? But he's a brilliant polyglot. Like he speaks like many languages very well, and and he's quite young too, so he's quite accomplished, and he knows what he's talking about. Like, because there's all these people, on YouTube and whatnot, telling you how to learn a language, and a lot of them are like don't actually speak the languages that well. But like Language Simp, I have a lot of respect for this man. He just released a book on his own, actually. It's called Giga Chad's Guide to Polyglot, something like this. But yeah, check out his new book. Janve, yeah, we talked about Yan Sanpe. Actually, I met Yan Sanpe in person. She came to Toronto a few weeks ago, and we like hung out for a couple days. I gave her like a ukulele, and we went to the park, and like we saw two raccoons. Or two Kieta Santa Calu too, and yeah, we had a great time. I like, yeah, Yen Sanpe and I really connect like emotionally. Like I feel like she and I are like similar, like we think similarly, and we have the similar kind of I don't know, we're the somehow God makes people and some people are designed the same way or something. Um, yeah, Lojban is interesting. I mean, I mean, there's parts of it that are really like unintuitive for me, but the fact that Lojban, I mean, this brings us to this topic here, like what's going on in the conlang world right now. I mean, if you like, if I go on the street and ask people like, okay, what constructed languages are you familiar with? Like maybe people will say Esperanto, or they'll talk about Tolkien or Klingon or Game of Thrones or something. Um, but like Tokipona is like almost is like number two, and it's like growing so fast that, I mean, according to these metrics, which is not, like it's not the be all and end all. There's so many different ways to evaluate like language communities, but I mean, it's possible that Tokipona could be the same or overtake Esperanto in a few years. Like I don't even know, and it's like, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Like, and that's also what spurred Suno Sama, because like sometimes the older generation are less aware of what's going on, and like we have to have good relations with all the conlines. So, um, like to prevent some kind of conflict or something like this. So yeah, Yan Sanpe is like sort of like, yeah, I mean, she's the artist doing so many things in Dojban. Navi, I don't think we don't know the Navi community that well. The Tolkien languages, yes. Inter-Slavic, we have a good. I have a couple people in the Inter-Slavic community that I talk to often, and they're facing the same kind of questions as every constructed language. So we're like sharing knowledge and helping each other out with stuff that we've solved that they have not solved yet, or vice versa. Like we're all on the same team, right? So um, yeah, and it's cool to see that Tokipona is doing so well without the like we don't have the Hollywood budget, we don't have the the 100 years of history and statues of Esperanto. Like we're all grassroots and we're just all doing it together as just people, just artists who like Tokipona, right? So yeah, it's cool. Have you ever made a language other than Tokipona? Yeah, when I was really young. Yeah, one second. Let me get some water. When I was very young, I had a conlang called Üben So like the first syllable is like the rounded front vowel, and the N and the R are syllabic consonants. And I don't think I've ever published it. I mean, maybe I have drafts on like an old hard drive somewhere. Um, and I remember that this conlang Üben had two, if I remember correctly, I think there were like two different accusative or direct object markers. So there was one that was like the consenting accusative, and one that's like the non-consenting accusative. So like if you're, I don't know, like like you touch a person or you pick up a flower, like you have to decide, you have to mark if if it was consensual or not. Like so, it was. I remember that, and I remember like some of the phonetics of it, but it wasn't really fleshed out that deeply, and I was very young. But yeah, when Tokipona happened to me, it just kind of like came out, and I wrote it. I wrote down what I saw, and then it like somehow that just worked like from the beginning. Like so there was no almost no design. Like it just came out that way. I sometimes play with other conlang ideas. I'm increasingly focused on how do I say this? It's like existing languages, but I'm like inventing a new way to speak them. So like take for example like Esperanto. Like I mean, there's like thousands and thousands and thousands of words that you have to memorize, and they're all like subtle, and like there's like these little differences in one letter, and it's like really nice. But sometimes you just need like like you just need a couple hundred words, and you can just use them with the skills that we all have with Tokipona, right? With like we can express ourselves without having all these extra words. So I'm increasingly looking at other languages like this, and then coming up with my own like subset, if you want to call it like that, like or like Esperanto, the good parts, or something like that. Like it's like all grammatically correct Esperanto or Arabic or Chinese or any other language that I'm doing this with, but it's just like you don't have to learn everything. You just learn like the 400 or so important words and phonology, and then you can talk. You can go, and I do this when I travel too. Like like I speak Malay and Indonesian like pretty well at this point. But like if I don't remember the word for like a grasshopper, like I can just say like jumping insect, and just like we do in Tokipona, and native speakers, they might say like, oh, you talk a little weird, but like we understand you, and it's like that's the like it's strategic, right? Like there's just so many languages in the world, um, and like to master them at the advanced level, like there's ways to be functional in a language without having to learn like all the thousands of words, right? And Toki and Sonja, I've only been learning a few months, but it's been great so far. The community vibes around here are great, and it's nice seeing my first Suno Pitoki Pana. Awesome. Luna Kitty with 3 Ys. Yeah, welcome. I mean, I think this is what like Yanusa, said, what is this, the fifth one? Or like I'm losing track, but yeah, like really the rebirth or the big growth happened about 5 years ago, I think, because like Tokipona was kind of like a sleeper. Like there was always some like interest, like there was always like journalists, and back then, like in the 2000s, it was like print media, like journalists would call me and stuff, and today it's like almost irrelevant, like it's YouTubers, and it's a whole different media landscape, right? But yeah, so I mean, there was always some vibes that were very good from the beginning, but something big happened about 5 years ago. I think Discord is a big part of it. Where it's like we can be together and we can have live voice chats and stuff, and yeah, and I mean, like I think Yan Misali made a lot of people aware of conlangs. Like a whole new generation has become aware of conlangs, and yeah, like Sue 1 is very different than Sue 2. What makes them both Sue? Okay, yeah, this is a great question, Gabriel Teles. Sue is basically like a format. It's they're books that have Sitalen Pona and another language. So there's like at least 2 languages, and there's illustrations in color, and there's text. So I mean, like the first one was a story, The Wizard of Oz. The second one is this Suno-sama, which is kind of like, I mean, Yen Lakuse said it's kind of like a time capsule or like a letter to the future. Like I think in maybe 12 years, people will look back at this and be like, oh wow, and like they'll kind of like people are not aware sometimes of the things that are going on with Tokipona because it's just so big and growing in different directions. And I get approached by different friends who become aware, like new friends who become aware of Tokipona, and they're doing great work in other industries. So yeah, I think like we're at a critical turning point, I think, in like sort of public awareness of Tokipona, I think. So yeah, Sue is like a format. And so yeah, the next one will be the Unicorn Anthology. I'm working with Pixel U. Let's see, I think I have photos of her on my, just type it. Pixel U. Yeah, check out Pixel U. Like this this artist in Brazil. Let me just paste this in chat. Really talented artist, and I don't know, we just like connected, and there's going to be like some really beautiful illustrations and of like pretty unicorns. It started when a friend of mine was talking about My Little Pony, and I was like, oh, that's a cool idea for a book, like ponies, right? Like everyone likes ponies. But then, like getting the license and the rights to My Little Pony is, takes a while. So I was like, okay, let's just see what we can find. And then we started looking at a lot of like folk tales and public domain like stories, from different cultures. Like there's some content, there's some stories from like Thailand, there's some from Persia, there's quite a few from France. There's Chinese, there's like a Confucius story of Qilin. It's like kind of like there's something they say Kirin in English. It's I mean, it's not exactly a unicorn, but it's in the unicorn uh, you know archetype, I guess. It's like adjacent, unicorn adjacent. So this anthology, I don't know when it'll release, but I'm hoping by the end of this year, inshallah. And it's like going to be lots of pretty unicorn pictures and stories. So that's what's going on with Sue. Um, Let me keep scrolling. There's probably a backlog of questions. My time to keep on. Iwa. Okay, yeah, we found the sulfur word. Yeah, so I mean, like, don't take this too seriously, but like, that's the most recent meme scene that I worked on. Um, Malodorous chemical substance such as sulfur, hydrogen sulfide. I mean, like, we needed a word for all these things, right? So it's Iwa. Scroll down. Bilingual Toki-Pona Esperanto version. Your tempo, your meaning. Su deletes a whole topic in Lojban. Oh, Su is one of those joke words in Lojban. Okay, yeah, yeah. It's funny. Like a friend of mine was showing me like Blue Sky. Like I do a lot of announcements on Blue Sky. I think a lot of you are aware of that. And I just promoted that game. I saw that game yesterday, and I was like, oh my god, this is like so cool. And I wanted to share that. And this is the full name in Tokipona of basically our best friend in Esperanto right now is this person. Actually, there's two people. I mean, there's many people, but like, yeah, I mean, we're really making great friendships and alliances with a lot of different people and different, like doing work in different areas. So yeah, I guess you could say I've been focusing on the outside world, like because I have responsibilities towards, like serving Tokipona speakers and keeping in touch, but I'm kind of like the public face that people reach out to often, so I have to respond, and I get a lot of emails, and like I have to connect with the world as well, right? I forget what I was saying. Something with Blue Sky. Uh, I'm not even reading the chat. Like I'm reading the chat from 1:39. I'm like 10 minutes backlog. I'm like traveling through time. Um, With exhaustion added again. How are we delivering to Zamenhof? I gotta do some laundry. Oh yeah, laundry. Yeah, let's talk about laundry. Laundry, it's like, I mean, all this work that I do for Tokipona, like I'm also like a housewife, right? So like like laundry is a thing that happens every day to keep a household clothing clean because sometimes you forget laundry and it's like, oh, like 3, 4, 5 days go by because I'm absorbed by a project, and then it's like, oh, gotta do laundry. Like if you don't do laundry, like it's just a forever thing, right? But laundry's fun. I like my machine. I have there was one laundry machine that I was so offended. Like it didn't work unless you connect it to the internet. Like this is how things have become now with devices. Like your laundry machine has like its own its own like network and its own like Wi-Fi connection, and like you need like an app for your washing machine. Like what's going on? Like like sometimes like I'm all about high tech, but I mean low tech is fine too, right? Like a pencil is just a pencil. Like you don't need a yeah. When you try to buy a book, but it's all out of Bialystok. Ah yes, Bialystok, the homeland or the birthplace of Zamenhof, right? Will it be in Kalaasi's newsletter? Language Simp has been thoroughly debunked. Really? I mean, what I've seen of language simp for the languages that I speak. Oh wait, I see a friend joining. Hi, Jan Sanpe. I think Jan Sanpe is next. Wait, how am I doing for time? 1 second. This is all kind of improvised. Let me just check. I'm doing for time. I gotta end at 2, so I got 5 minutes. Okay, sounds good. So let me just catch up with chat. Driving. So, I mean, how many official Tokyo books are going to be? I don't know. I mean, I'm just going to keep making books because it's just kind of like my medium. Like when you're an artist, it's nice to kind of branch out, but if you do a thing well and you can do it fast and you have the experience, you just keep doing it. And I mean, it's not just about me, right? Like even Pooh, the first one, like if you look at the first page, like there's like a dozen names, right? Like it's just I'm just kind of facilitating what everyone wants. So yeah, like it's just increasingly more and more books that are kind of like empowering different groups to, to put in print what they need. Person who is Filipino, but nobody taught me Tagalog or anything. Yeah, I feel it. I mean, I'm French ethnically, and I mean, most of us are losing our language too. I mean, we're, yeah. I think we all have to keep in touch with our like ethnic or cultural or family languages, because there's a lot of yeah, I mean, English is taking over, right? So, and it depends on the region. Like in some countries, there's other languages taking over, but yeah. But yeah, language diversity. Believe that strongly, and that's why I always believe in like Tokipona spaces and even like non-Tokipona spaces where I participate. And then there's like rules where they say like, oh, you must speak English or whatever. It's like no, like if we're about languages, we gotta speak all the languages. Like 7 human souls. Miku, sing it backwards. I'm just catching up on chat here. I started learning Tokipona. This is Kayla, the gay egg. Oh yeah, I've spoken to Kayla before. When I started learning Tokipona like 5 or 6 years ago, I knew nobody in person that spoke Tokipona. People who speak it recently, it's been amazing watching the language community grow so much. Yeah, we're really like I think at a turning point. One day I ought to actually learn Lojban. Average person will not know everything. Yeah, I mean, I think in the grand scheme of things, we're still a niche, right? Like we shouldn't think of ourselves as like that big. I mean, we're just like a niche, but I mean, we're punching above our weight. Like for such a niche and such a small language with so few words, like we're producing and affecting the world in ways that have not happened since Esperanto. I think, right? Um, and yeah, we get underestimated very often. There's something you'd like to translate into Kipana, make it to Suba, but can't for whatever reason. Yeah, definitely, all the time. I mean, I like public domain because, yeah, there's just so much freedom. But sometimes, you get the rights for something, and like the author or whatever, right? And then it's just, or the publisher, and it's just something happens. Um, Anyone else taking a bath? Okay, Tempotelo Lilon. Learn Navi. Okay, yeah, Navi. Yeah, I mean, the impression I have with Navi is it's one of those Hollywood languages, so it gets the popularity, but I don't think the speaking community is that fluent. Like, I think it's all beginners, is the impression I have. But Tokipona is unique, like a magic Rubik's Cube. Yeah, I mean, it's just so small, and it just keeps delivering. And people come to Tokipona and they use it for things that were never thought of before. Like it just seems like it's just every time someone says like, oh yeah, Tokipona can't do that. There's always like a whole group who shows up and says what, and then they like prove it wrong. Like it's almost like a curse in the sense that if you challenge Tokipona, like Tokipona will just prove you wrong, like out of spite to make like I mean that's how like our ISO code. And I mean like what's going on with Kala'asi's library. I mean it's like what is it called? It's on Pona La, right? People Pona. I mean like our corpus, like what is it? 1,400 entries now, and there's so many publications happening everywhere. Yeah, I can't keep track. And you didn't ask Tokipona for permission before speaking. 5 star as a Relax. Yeah. Kind of like Relaxes. Learning interslavic to piss off my Russian girlfriend. Why do you think there are so many creative people in this community? Okay, this is a good question. Citrin Kosin. Every time I look around, okay, I got 2 minutes. Okay. There's a new tool, art piece, or song. I don't. Does this happen in other online communities? I mean, I don't want to say anything bad about other communities, but I have the impression that some of them are like kind of like more stagnating. But I think it's also that we're just all kind of doing things in different places. Like we're all scattered. So it's sometimes like, if you're not really deeply embedded in one community, you're just not aware of what's going on. But yeah, there's just so much being produced like and happening all over the place with us. Yeah, it's like it's so hard to keep track, but it's good. I mean, it's call it a day. Is there someone you're forgetting to ask? Teto, what is Pokemon? Enira Silente, Esperanto friends joining us. Teto is a construct, correct spellings. Okay, wondrous. Getting mad that she can understand you. Esperanto Pona. Yeah. I think there's like a subset of Esperanto that could be learned. Learn these words first. Yeah. Um, what are some obstacles that you had to go through with creating words for Tukipona? I mean, that's so long ago. Yeah, that's a good question. Okay, I've run out of time, so let me just wait. I still have. Let me just take another 1 minute to catch up on the chat. I don't want to miss something if there was like an important coup. Yeah, there we go. Coup coming out during the pandemic. Yeah, I think. Yeah, this is Waso Alena, I think. Yeah, I think the pandemic was a big factor in Tokipona's growth. Like everyone was at home looking for activities, and then suddenly Tokipona boomed. And then I showed like I was absent for like a decade or I don't know how long. Like Tokipona grew so fast when I wasn't even there. Like I was just trying to earn a living and do other things in life as an adult, and then Tokipona grew, and then I just kind of reappeared because it was like, what's going on? Like, and yeah, I think the pandemic was a big part of it. And then Ku, I released Ku as a way to show like, hey, like you own Tokipona now. Like it's like I'm not gonna edit anything. It's just exactly what you tell me to put in this book. Something big happened 5 years ago. Yeah, quarantine. Yeah. I think that was a big factor. Yeah, there's a link of Pixel U. Is there going to be oh, I cannot pronounce that. This is the Mongolian letter, eh? Like our Mongolian friends have asked us for ownership of this letter. So the letter Y is now like you have to be Mongolian to teach this. So I don't want to do something unethical here. Cough, Lucapona. Yeah, Tuki Tiki, Lucapona. Like these are like amazing Tuki Bonitos. Apologies to Yan Sanpe. I know she's kind of like on standby right now, but I just want to catch up with chat. Um, Official My Little Pony Tokipona book would have been a possible reality. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, copyright is like, I mean, I like to mix it up. Like, I understand copyright because creators, I mean, they're professionals, right? So, but for a thing to thrive, like, you need to give as much power to the users as possible. So, the way I approach it is I mix it up. Like, I'll have parts of my book copyright, parts in Creative Commons, parts in public domain, and I'll self-share parts, and so it kind of like serves everybody's needs as best as possible. Like the creator and the user can get everything they need, and yeah, and I mean, there's so many great independent Tokipona courses and stuff too, right? So the Subo can necessarily need to be official, quote unquote. Uh, oh, okay, yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, like these ooh words are like my artistic works, but or my endorsements, but I mean, it's not just me, like this whole team. So, like if you want to be part of an ooh book series, I guess just get noticed or send me, like send me your text or your art or your font or whatever it is that you do, and then maybe we can fit it into a book, right? So Sama, we're all under the same sun. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like solidarity. Um, uh, Tempo, difference, garbage truck full of broken glass, AI, Tempo. What is your favorite genre of Tokipona music? From Yan Mika's partner. And Yan Mika is like a good friend. I met her in person in Colorado when the university flew me down, and there was like, I think it was like 120 people in a room, like wanted to hear me and Lacuse speak. And Yan Mika's been doing great stuff in so many areas like Reddit and other areas. Favorite genre of Tokipona music? I mean, I guess it would be the like I put it in the FAQ. Like I'm getting so many questions from different places that I start putting them here now. So if you go to Tokipona in Esperanto, and then you click to music scene, here we go. These are the ones that I'm like showcasing, and Yan Misali and a few other friends helped me kind of curate this list. So I mean, Yanusawi, I think we all know her, or them, or Faye, Yan Kion, Yan Opa, Yan Sepulon. I mean, Yan Sonalika is like kind of came out of nowhere and was like, wow, like some Yan Sotan. I mean, hip hop, and like I don't know why. Like I never liked hip hop when I was young, but recently I started listening to more rap because it gives me energy to just kind of get work done. Calipon Antonio, Yan Nasi, Yan Kepe. I mean, Kepe is doing amazing stuff to make this event happen. Like, I think Kepe is like one of the organizers, right? And Nicoletta, like, and these are like sort of like I guess there are like most talented ones. But I mean, like, YouTube is full of musicians, right? Like everyone, like you don't have to be a pro to make music in Tokipona. Like everyone like people are making all these videos and songs from their favorite anime or their favorite video game and stuff. Like it's all cool. I love it all. Antara Kuman, Sama, yep, new book. Let me just catch up because I'm eating into the time with my friend who was going to do some really cool music, Yan Sante. I mean, um, kind of want to buy it, but it's on sale. Yeah, no, why? Laundry is my worst enemy. Yeah, every household is different, but I mean, the way that it is with me and my husband is I just kind of like take charge of the traditional Meli stuff, and he takes charge of the traditional Mia stuff as a starting point, and then like every relationship you customize, right? Like especially, like queer, LGBTQ, etc. Like like it's hard to use a traditional model all the time, but it's for me it's a starting point, and so I just take charge of the laundry and I don't let him do any laundry, but it's just I guess it's just my pride. I guess I don't know, but yeah, laundry is laundry. Hawaii shirt, dystopian fiction, songs, laundry, machines. Yeah, yeah. Mecha Loton server, Mayuku, wash your clothes by the river. Yeah, I mean, like, I think we should like at least once a year, go to your river and wash your clothes and just like reconnect. Like this is how people have been doing it forever. And then machines are nice, but it's like a fast, right? Like you can have a fancy computer and write a book, but if you lose touch with a pencil or a pen and a paper, like you have to reconnect with the roots of what you're doing sometimes to understand like what you're doing at its most fundamental level. Swabian. I know a bit of Swabian. I used to live in Tübingen. It's like what is it? Grüß Gott. That's how they say hello. It's like hello God basically. And the other Swabian thing is the sh. Like whenever you say like a word like Ost for east, they don't say Ost. They say like Osh. Like the sibilants are totally different. Laundry, laundry, laundry. Tutti pones lingua franca, bath. Epsom salt, Yansavi, laundry. How do we feel good on laundry? I mean, laundry is just it's just a forever thing, right? So there's always one person in the house who's in charge of laundry, I think, or it's a teamwork. But it's like you got to get the needle moving, right? If you forget for a few days, like uh, click, bring it up, hope. Okay, I think I should wrap up. Let me just make sure I'm not forgetting any big question. Why do you need things of free people? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think it's because we have communities that protect. Our communities are really well protected. Like we have great mods, we have great policies. Like it's like you can enter Tokiponena communities, and it doesn't matter who you are. Like if you're like vulnerable, if you're disabled, if you're queer, if you're trans, if you're plural, if you're like indigenous, if you're a person of color, like if you're I mean, like there's just so many people who are being bullied right now in the world that like it's not safe to go anywhere. And Tokipona is just like a place where talented people who are pushed out of every other space can just be like, hey, like we're artists, we can do fun stuff. We're like, we're computer scientists, we're linguists, we're whatever. Like, it's like, like the full potential of people can come out, right? Like, Toang, yeah, Toang is cool. I don't know the language, but the community, like every time I spend time with people who speak Toang, like they're really awesome people. This is my method. Took one on autism. Okay, I'll open those links of Kekan-san. Some two links. Can someone pin Kekan-san's message about growing Tokipon and autism? Okay, I need to finish. Whoa, Wasukeri, put it on the wall. What's that? You have like a door? Oh my god, is this a door? No, it's a fridge. Oh, okay, okay. Pokilete. Pokilete li Tokipona, li Sutalenpona. Wow, love it. Um, okay, okay, I'm really over time now, so I think I might have to end. Just, yeah, there's a backlog of stuff I couldn't answer, but like love you all. Thank you for everything, and I know I it's hard for me to be like lots of different people for different people. Like sometimes I have to be the opposite of who I am with one person because that's what they need, and sometimes I have to be the complete opposite of that to a different person who needs something different. But I'm learning, I'm scaling up, and I'm learning. I'm learning skills to quickly change and adjust to what different people need from me, just to continue the service. Okay, bye everybody. And Yan Sanpe is like, like I saw her a few weeks ago, and like, yeah, she's amazing. So, bye.